Hey everyone, Zondi here. So I got asked to do this Dark Spirits tag, so I am here doing it for you guys, and yeah, so let's jump into this with all the questions, and yeah. With this question, I do believe I've had a few experiences with dark spirits, one being most recent that I talked about, which is sleep paralysis, because I personally feel not all spirits that you encounter during sleep paralysis are kind, and the one I encountered I felt was particularly dark. So yeah. Um and then another experience was when I went to Ouray, Colorado, and um my mom and I took a haunted history tour, and um if you guys didn't know, I am a sensitive, meaning that I can basically sense spirits. Um It's not as strong as mediums, but I definitely can gather that when I feel spirits and all that stuff. So yeah. And when we got to this other part, like this one part for the tour, I felt extremely uneasy, and that there was like a dark male presence right there, and I refused to get any closer to the spot, which was one of the original cabins there. So yeah. And as we were walking away, we heard a door slam. And, we looked back, and since I'm sensitive and all that, I felt like there was this figure standing right at the door of the cabin that we were talking about, and I was getting asked to get closer, and I refused to because, well, yeah. So yeah, those are the two that I can think of right off the bat. I'm sure there's probably been like one or two more. So yeah. Next question. Now with this question, I actually have only noticed it this once, and it was, I think, two scratches that I had, and yeah. Um, so where I actually found the marks was I just jumped out of the shower, and this was like way before I even had a dog. So yeah, and where I'm actually holding the perfect arm, found them like right next to my tattoo, like two, just like right there. Believe it was. So yeah, that was fun to find. So yeah. Quick note, yes, I know I look different from the last clips. This is done on 2 different days. That's my dog. Um, but regarding this one, question, I don't think I've had any visions where I was the subject of a ritual or being surrounded by any dark figures, but, I do remember this bad dream, and I don't know if it's considered paranormal or not, because of it, or, considered to be part of, like, any ritualistic stuff. But I do remember this dream where I was in this cave and then suddenly found this body that was like obviously looked like it's been there for a while, and its eyes were gone and its teeth were gone, and then suddenly it like came back to life and looked at everybody, and so yeah, and it could have been like a body from a ritual or something, I don't know. So yeah, there is that. I guess I also answered the next part for this, which is, if so, what was the dreams about, and what were they trying to do to you, and if anything, it was just looking weird at me because the body decided to come back to life or whatever. Sammy, quit it. I'm trying to do a video. So yeah. For this question, I think it was during the time when I not think I mentioned this earlier. There was a presence that it caused me not to want to go closer to a part of where I was getting a ghost tour from. So yeah, and the feeling I got with that in regards to this question is, just a really heavy nervousness and scared feeling almost from the dark figure. And it was like in the pit of my stomach, so yeah, yeah, yeah. I honestly don't think I've ever had any health problems during any encounter. It was just more so like just the nervousness and scared and the feeling of being sick, like the last question asked. But nothing too dramatic out of that I recall. So yeah. So for this, I forget the exact location that they were doing, but I was watching an episode of Ghost Adventures, and they were interviewing people who were kidnapped and held at gunpoint. At this cabin, like I said, I forget exactly where it all was, but it was at a location where there's reports of like demonic activity, and with the people who kidnapped them and held them hostage. They could tell at least the main guy was possessed, and it was by a very dark spirit and all that so fun stuff. I found that really scary because it was like a group of like 5 or 6 kids, well, teens, and it was like Halloween night or something, and they wanted to go to this cabin because they heard like all these like stories about it, and they wanted to see for themselves, and then ended up getting like captured and held hostage and all that for a long time, for like a good chunk of the night, I think it was, and like because of the main guy being possessed, if I'm correct, probably have to rewatch the episode, or I'm sure you can find it somewhere on the internet. So yeah, and one of the guys was also killed, sadly. So yeah, and Zach Baggins and the crew brought in a psychic medium or something like that, and she just kept feeling really uneasy, and the common number around this like whole entire property was the number 3, and she suddenly kept repeating the number 3. So yeah, so yeah, that's the scariest story that I've heard and all that fun stuff. I actually have not seen very many scary movies, and I want to change that. So I am open to suggestions of any and every scary movie anyone can think of. And yes, you can put that in the comments down below, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, this was the Dark Figures tag, I believe. Yeah, Dark Spirits tag. And yeah, if you guys would like to do it, you can. One person I feel like they would enjoy doing it if they happen to watch this video. I don't know how many videos she watches of mine. I don't know. Proper English is not existent all the time for me. So yeah, but the one person I would like to tag to see her responses, if she's happened to watch this video, is Dory's Stories. I know she loves talking about the paranormal and loves the paranormal, and I would just love to see your answers and all that fun stuff if you guys haven't done it already. So yeah, I hope I see you guys in the next video, and yeah. Later.